The way I always talk about Nepal, a lot of people don't understand, like you said, they think of Mount Everest and they think of mountains when they think of Nepal. But Nepal actually has, the lowest altitude we have is 54 meters, in the east part of Nepal, And the highest is 8848, meters, right? So we're talking 29,000 feet, at the highest, and about 210 feet at the lowest. So when people think of Nepal, they just think of the people up in the mountains. But we have about 150 different ethnic groups here, about 125 languages among 30 million people. And this is, Nepal is one of the fastest urbanizing in South Asia, actually. Everybody is coming to the cities. And the only thing that actually retains them in the villages is tourism. It's not going to be agriculture that will retain them, it's too hard work, right? It's going to be tourism. So tourism is the savior, really, to retain rural economies. Nepal is chilled and relaxed and hospitable. These qualities are crucial for, for tourism, right? No matter how you do it, it is already there. But sustainability is a continuum. There is no end line to it. You can always go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, right?
So recently we saw the Gen Z protests here in Nepal and the rise of independent leaders. Is there a change in the political era system's thinking?
More recently, after the pandemic, what happened here is what I like to call the Balan effect. An independent candidate came and, using just social media, became the mayor of Kathmandu. And that actually, I think, gave, sort of unlocked, the lethargy that we had in politics.
So among all the places you have been to India, which one is favorite for you?
I lived in Kerala for 4 years, so I really like Kerala. I like Kerala for the food and the people. I also like the Northeast because I lived in Mizoram and I lived in Meghalaya and I studied there. So the Northeast for me is a different country again.
So many youth still go and work outside Nepal, like Australia, Korea and the Middle East. How do you think does that impact Nepal as a society and economy back home? Great to have you on the show, Raj.
Thank you very much.
Lovely, slow morning vibe here.
Yeah.
Calm and relaxed, very beautiful cafe. So how are your mornings usually? Relaxed or rushed?
Depends. I usually wake up quite early, around 6:30. End up going to the gym about 5 days a week, right here actually. And and then it's a very slow start after that. When you run your own business, you don't really care about, reaching office at 9 o'clock or 10 o'clock. And I think post-pandemic, a lot of my work has been from wherever I am, really, just through my phone or, laptop, so it doesn't really matter. So I've got very slow days. The mornings are a bit, I've got a small program, me time.
Okay. So when people think of Nepal, the first image that comes to mind is of Mount Everest. But if someone wants to truly understand and explore Nepal, what else defines Nepal?
So the way I always talk about Nepal, and I do a few of these master classes on Nepal, is, a lot of people don't understand, like you said, they think of Mount Everest and they think of mountains when they think of Nepal. But Nepal actually has, the lowest altitude we have is 54 meters, in the east part of Nepal, And the highest is 8848, meters, right? So we're talking 29,000 feet, at the highest, and about 210 feet at the lowest. And this is in a distance as a crow flies in about close to 200 kilometers. So it's one of the steepest countries in the world. We go from that low all the way up, and that has different implications. One implication is agriculture zones, so we can grow from pineapple, coconuts, banana to nothing on the top, right? So it goes everything from walnut, apricots, apples, you name it, everything grows all the way up. So that's a huge implication in terms of people as well, in terms of what can grow and stuff like that. And right at the top it's alpine, right? In one day in May, you can have in Lumbini, down in the south, where Buddha was born, you can have 50 degrees, close to 50 degrees in the daytime, and on top of Everest is minus 50. So
In
100
Lumbini,
degrees,
is that hot?
100 degrees variation within one day. And that is an incredible thing to have, within 200 kilometers, 200, 300 kilometers, right? So I think Nepal's uniqueness in that aspect is about scale. We've got crazy scale. That is, very few countries can boast that. And the fact that we have all these altitude variations means that flora, fauna, everything is very huge, right? I mean, we have from the largest cat in the world, the tiger, to the snow leopard.
Yeah.
Right here. Yeah. So down there in the Terai, you get the tiger, and as you go up to 3,000 meters, the snow leopard is there.
Yeah. That's true.
You have from butterflies to something called cordyceps. I don't know if you've heard of cordyceps.
No.
Cordyceps is a half moth, caterpillar, half fungus.
Where is it found?
It is found in high altitude pasture lands. So basically what happens is that moth lays an egg in the ground because there's no trees, right? And it goes under the soil, and the caterpillar goes under the soil, and some of them die. And when they die, the juicy caterpillar, a fungus grows from it up into the soil.
Oh, really?
So they dig this out, and it's used in Chinese medicine. So it's called Yarzagumba out here. It's Cordyceps sinensis, it's called, the scientific name. And that also is there. And we've got, I think Chitwan alone, down in the south, has got about 600 different birds. I mean, it's crazy. I mean, the scale. I mean, this is caused because of our scale, no? Because of all the variations that we have, right? So that is very grossly misunderstood in Nepal. That's one thing. The second aspect of it is the guardians of this space, which is us, right?
Yeah.
The guardians of the space are from, and this is also misunderstood. When people think of Nepal, they just think of, the people up in the mountains.
Yeah.
But we have we have about 150 different ethnic groups here, about 125 languages among 30 million people that we are here, And anywhere you look, I mean, you see all sorts of faces, and all of them are Nepali.
Yeah.
And this is the craziness we have, right? I mean, we have the Tharu people in the south who are immune to malaria. They're the only race in the world immune to malaria.
Immune to malaria?
Because they've got a genetic change in their body. So malaria,
interesting.
mosquitoes do not affect them because they came and learned how to live with it. And then we have people who have permanently their blood, oxygen level saturation is around 92 or under 90. The people up in the mountains, because they've adjusted to altitude. So we've got people like this in this country. We have the Tamang people out here who are who were horse riders from Genghis Khan. Horse soldiers from Genghis Khan. Literally, Tamang literally means horse soldier. We have, I mean, it's crazy scale. So on the people side, the guardians of this space, right? So we're super unique because, we've got about 150 different ethnicities, 125 different languages, that are spoken here. And people who are coming from all sorts of races are here, right? So this place, I would say, is very protected, was always protected. That's why it never got colonized as well, because in the south we had jungles and animals and malaria. And in the north we had high mountains, that impenetrable high mountains, right? So that meant that this was always a protected area, but yet it was one of the routes to connect with the Silk Route, the salt route that connected with the Silk Route. That means people were always trading here. So people who came here either came to trade, either came to rob from the traders, or they came to hide. So we are a very unique group of people who have come and lived in a very tough space, but managed to live because the land provided a lot. And that meant that the people in this land are very resilient, and we have seen that during the earthquake, we have seen that during the pandemic, we've seen it in our lifetimes, what sort of resilience we have. And that resilience comes because of being in this secluded space which didn't open to the world until the 50s, and at the same time was never colonized.
But do you see a change now from conquering mountains to seeking spirituality and exploring more of culture and experiencing the society and culture around here?
Yes, it is happening more now. I think we still have a record of being the mountains, but even the mountains nowadays we connect with spirituality. Because in the current age we are of speed and how interconnectivity and everything, the only luxuries you actually have are actually a solitude or being of time, for example. Time is very precious, and here we have a lot of time. We're a bunch of lazy people. We have a lot of time. We don't really care about timeliness. I mean, it's very relaxed. It's very chill.
Laid back culture.
And that laid back culture is a luxury. It's real luxury.
It is,
It is a luxury, and I think we are right there. So from that aspect, yes, Whether you talk about having a good meal, or you talk about having something, that's authentic in a village, or going up to the mountains and having time on your own, this is what you really yearn for nowadays in spirituality, right?
Yes.
It's
Yes.
not just God, or
Yeah.
thinking of Buddha, or Hinduism or something like that, right? But actually, we have that already inherent here.
So, what are some hidden gems you would recommend?
Here, I always say that somewhere in between the scale that we have and the people that we have is where the real, experience of Nepal lies. Yeah? To find people when you are at 4,300 meters, or close to, 4,500 meters, when we still have villages, is crazy. It's absolutely crazy. I've done treks in Europe, in the Alps, and there you're just doing nature-based treks. Yeah?
Yes.
You go for kilometers after kilometers, you don't see anyone. Here, you go up there and there's still a village. There's still cows running around, there are dogs running around, people are very friendly. And then you go to the south, it's the same thing. Yeah, and so it's this is amazing to see that scale and people. Yeah, and all of them are equally friendly. There's a lot of hospitality, and within that mix is where you start seeing the real gem of Nepal. And I think there everything comes in. The food, if you talk about food or you talk about culture, all that mix that we have yields to some very simple but authentic experiences. And I think that's the gem here.
Yeah.
The other thing I always like to say also is that we have very rustic luxury. It's comfortable. Wherever you go, you feel comfortable. And I think that is something very precious out here. It's not about fancy hotels, or it's not about fancy places, or anything like that. It is just
It's more authentic and
it's very comfortable.
natural.
Yeah, it's naturally comfortable. And I think that is some quality that Nepal really provides. I think it's to do with the way we live, the way we present ourselves, the hospitality that we provide. So the real gem at the end of the day is the people of
That's
Nepal.
very true.
Really, it's just the people, the way we are. That's the gem.
Yeah, no, true. When you said that even in Norway and the other European regions, you have nature-based treks, but here it's more you are going around treks and meeting people, seeing through the villages, the countryside, and all that. It's
We are also very
fascinating.
accessible, because I also run a business in Norway. And in Norway, there's a lot of nature. It's lovely. I mean, if you get to meet the people, they're fantastic, but you hardly get to meet them.
Yeah, that's
But
true.
here, the day you arrive, you start meeting people. And you always have experiences with people. And that is an amazing thing out here. Absolutely amazing.
So everyone knows the Everest base camp trek, but what are some other treks that are equally more beautiful?
Yeah, I mean, we cannot help it, right? We've got a rock that is really high. So, it's the highest in the world. So, of course, that became famous, no? And since 1953, when Everest was conquered, then people started following in that footsteps, right? And that has just become an iconic thing to do. And it's, of course, it's famous because it's also stunning. There's no doubt about it. But we got to also remember that, the Himalayas runs from Uzbekistan all the way to Myanmar, actually.
Yeah, that's true.
And so all of it is beautiful. This is the cooling system of the world. We have these mountains that are just there, and it's super beautiful. And Nepal has about 1,600 kilometers of it. Yeah. And right from the west to the east, we have this beautiful landscape, right? So actually, it doesn't matter where you go in the country, because we are kind of rectangular in shape. Yeah, you can have this experience, no?
Yeah.
So if people want to avoid doing what everybody else does, then we have all the other ranges that are there, all the way to the east, where we have Kanchenjunga, which is the third highest in the world. In the middle, we have Manaslu, which is the eighth highest in the world. If you go slightly further on, you get Dhaulagiri, seventh highest, Annapurna 1, 10th highest. So all of these are there, and all of these bases of these mountains, you don't have to go to the top. All the bases of these mountains are really, really stunning adventure areas. Yeah. So it's all over the place. I mean, if you go to the west, you got Soipal, you've got this amazing mountains, Api, and the bases of it, again, is the same. The trekking part of it is really stunning.
What do you think draws people to Everest across continents, across culture? Is there something deeper that is more reflective about it?
Oh, I think it is the challenge. I think it is the challenge. It is. I mean, it's like going to the Paris and not seeing Eiffel Tower, for example, right? You'll be like, oh my God, I have to go there, right? I mean, this is one of the iconic places in the world. So people do have a draw. There's a draw out there. It is also quite challenging. As a personal challenge. It's accessible but challenging, let's put it this way. It is accessible because, we've got the infrastructure that's already built for it. We've got flights going to Lukla, so that people can start the trek. You can actually also access it by road and you can still hike up. You just talk to a guy who walked from Kathmandu all the way to the top of Everest, So, all these things are possible, right? And there are places to stay, there's great food up there. So all of that is there, We've got rescue possibilities with choppers, so it's very, very advanced in terms of arrangements, right? And that draws people because they realize they can be safe when they come here. They realize they can still take on the challenge of, doing 14 days up there in the mountains and reaching base camp and coming back. And they feel fulfilled at the end because they've made that effort.
Yeah.
Right? And I think that is what some of the longer treks offers in Nepal. Having said that, that's not the longest trek we have. The longest trek we have is from the east to the west of Nepal, which is called the Great Himalaya Trail. And it's 125 to 150 days of
150
trekking.
days? Oh, goodness. Okay.
And that would be climbing Everest 10 times when you finish that.
Is it difficult, the terrain?
Of course. You're going to walk for 150 days. It's going to be difficult. But you can do it in pieces. So that's the other thing that a lot of people don't know. That you can start at the east, you can do a small portion, go back home, come back next year, do another one. And finish
that
it.
way is also
And you
possible.
can finish it.
But I'm surprised by the cost that it takes to take a summit, to make a summit possible, around 60 to 70 lakhs rupees. What goes into that cost that people don't know?
A big part of it is the permit. One. But importantly, in the expedition scene, for Everest, you are spending about 45 days at base camp. Imagine the cost. Everything has to be carried or choppered, right? So all of that cost goes into that bigger
Even
picture,
the
right?
food and the
And then
cylinders.
as you go up, you need the oxygen. You can't go on your own. Nobody actually climbs on their own. They go in the back, on the back of a Sherpa, let's put it this way, almost, because without the preparation that is done to actually set up the camps all the way to Camp 4 at 8,000 meters, the climbs would not happen. Nobody's setting up their own camps. So all that cost goes in.
So it must have helped the Sherpa community a lot since the time it is commercialized, 2 decades back. What do you think of the Sherpa community and their evolution since the last 2-3 decades?
It has actually benefited them quite a lot. Yeah, there's no doubt about it. It's a very harsh environment that they lived in. So the Sherpa, the name Sherpa just means people of the East. They came from Tibet, when they were escaping Chinese invasion, and the destruction of their religion, the setback to the Buddhist religion. They came back and they settled down in the Khumbu. So the Khumbu is also called a Beul. And a Beul is a sort of Shangri-La. It's like a place where people can live and continue their practice while being hidden, in a way. Right? So we've got a lot of Beuls in Nepal. There are a lot of these, places that are called Beul, which is hidden valleys, right? And this is one of the Beuls. So they came and stayed there in a harsh environment, and it was very difficult to do agriculture. A few potatoes grow, one season. It's not a lot of things that you can do up there. And so tourism has become a complete savior. To be in the place which is the highest mountain in the world means that a lot of people come. And currently about 65,000 go every year, up there. No, not to climb, but, to go to base camp and everything. People travel up there. And that has become a lifeline for the Sherpa community, right? So now, that income, that economy is crucial for that region. And this is true not only in that region, it's true for most communities that are up in the mountains. Tourism can become a lifeline. And also, interestingly, from a very modern perspective, if you look at it, these are, it's same in India as well. Rural economies are going down. Everybody is urbanizing, right? And this is, Nepal is one of the fastest urbanizing in South Asia, actually. Everybody is coming to the cities. And the only thing that actually retains them in the villages is tourism. It's not going to be agriculture that will retain them. It's too hard work, right? It's going to be tourism. So tourism is the savior, really, to retain rural economies.
Any problems that you see with Nepal's tourism, or there is potential to uplift the local economy? How would you redesign Nepal's tourism if you?
I would actually take the focus out of only Everest. That is the first thing. Or the few places that we do. Annapurna is very famous, Monarchy is very famous, Lantang and, Everest, of course. But I would move it all across the country. The 1,600 kilometers that I said. I mean, the mountains are, for us, the jewels, no doubt, right? They are also the source for our water, they're the source for our climate, all the way to the south, and that is very important, there's no doubt about it. And that is a draw as well. And we have to retain that draw. But that I think we need to spread out the tourism a little bit more so that every community can benefit from it. Because for us, I see tourism as becoming the only thing that will actually take this country completely forward. Not because I'm in the industry, and I'm being selfish out here, but I think this is a very important thing for Nepal. To also retain rural economies, to maintain agriculture done right. To maintain the way of our lives, because we can showcase our lives, if with tourism. So tourism has got a lot of impact if you do it right.
Do you think the infrastructure is keeping up to the growing tourism?
No, not at the moment. I think we need to do a lot more on the infrastructure side. Our roads are really bad. Access has to be improved. There's no doubt about it. It's quite accessible, but we need to get it better. So that will definitely make huge leaps. If you can get that straightened out. It is happening, but the pace is too slow. As is with South Asia. Everything in South Asia is like, very slow progress, right? So we need to quicken that process.
The bureaucracy, as we call it.
Bureaucracy, corruption, you name it. I mean, we are, plagued by it, right? And I think this is changing now. We've got a new country right now, a new government, everything. So, things are changing, hopefully.
Yeah.
So with correct focus, the country can be developed with just tourism. I can see that.
Right focus at the right place. With priorities being correct.
Absolutely.
Yeah, but do you think also that Nepal is under-marketed compared to countries like Bhutan or Thailand?
Marketing can always be done more and more, right? We need to do more storytelling. We need to tell more about our country. We need to tell more about what we are proud of, not what other people see.
Yeah.
Because that is giving the wrong impression, right? So more stories need to go from Nepal. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, I think we need to tell more about our stories and what we really want to do. And I think that sort of marketing is something that is slowly starting to happen in the world as well. But we need to be ahead of the curve, I think, to do more localized storytelling is crucial. Because like you said, a lot of people don't know what Nepal actually gives. What actually is the assets that we have. And I think we need to do more on that. There's always a need.
The stories around the country. So some people travel to escape and some to discover and realize, find meaning. What's your travel philosophy?
Actually, that's exactly what I do as well. I think it is about... I always think that people travel to compare their lives with other people.
Yeah, that's what it has come to with social media.
And it's not bad. I think that is exactly a human behavior. And I think you discover whether you are in a better position than the other place, or you yearn to be there. So it can be both ways, right? And I think that's why people travel. And our jobs as travel curators is to actually help them in that process. Is to help them in that process, not just take them there and say, find it yourself. It's kind of pointless, So you should actually, we are almost like consultants, we are almost like psychologists, who want to who will find out why people are traveling, and then provide them or enhance that, tweak that, because we know what we do, right? I was just talking to some of my friends out here and saying, we do the magic. We play a very catalytical role in providing that little twist, right? So that the space can actually deliver what the person was thinking, Sometimes people even don't know why they are traveling. But our experience shows that a lot of people are traveling because they feel like they would like to compare. And when we have discussions or reflections with people, they will always say, "Oh, this is what I discovered. My place has got like this, and your place is like this." And that comparison is very clear. Right?
Yes. Do you make profiles of different types of travelers?
Generalization is unfortunately a crime, but we do it all the time. Yeah, and it's horrible. It's horrible. We generalize as well. But more and more, I'm trying to ask people before they travel why they are traveling. So when an inquiry comes to me, the first question I ask is, why are you coming to Nepal? And the answer to that question really helps me design the trip much better. Because some people come because somebody else, they've seen somebody else come, or their friend told them that about the place, or they just said, I want to challenge myself. Then it's the same trip done slightly different. If it's a challenge, it's a different thing. If they wanted to discover, it's a different thing. You see what I mean, right?
So meeting their expectations, basically.
Yeah, actually exceeding is the target. The target is to exceed. It's not to meet. Kind of pointless just to meet.
Meeting is mediocre anyway.
Exceeding
That's
is
true.
a trick.
Yes. Have you ever been to a place and when you have come back, you realize that I'm a little different person, slightly different person?
I think every time I travel, I change. There's no doubt about it. I think every journey is a learning. It doesn't matter if I've been to the same place 10 times, I still learn something new. And I think that always stays in people. And I think that is quite profound, actually. But I think it happens with everybody. If you think about it, you'll always realize that you have changed. Journeys change people. And I think that is absolutely amazing.
Yes. It's more of an education.
Absolutely.
So among all the places you have been to India, which one is favorite for you?
In India?
Yeah.
Oh, man, it's difficult because I lived in Kerala for 4 years, so I really like Kerala. I like Kerala for the food and the people. They're super laid back.
God's own country, they call it.
Yeah, I mean, Kerala is like an island. It's got an island vibe,
Yes.
It's funny. I mean, it's not an island, but it's got an island vibe, yeah? Maybe because it floated and came into Asia, right? Because it must have been an island before. So it's so chilled, yeah? I also like the Northeast because I lived in Mizoram and I lived in Meghalaya and I studied there. So the Northeast for me is a different country again. Personally, I mean, I shouldn't be saying this to Indian audiences. It should not have been in India is what I think. It doesn't feel like India at all. It's
very
tribes.
different.
It's
That's
very
true.
different, and I love the sort of nature they have, the food they have. It's so vastly different than what is popularized as Indian food, which is North Indian, Mughlai, which is but the Northeast is amazing. So I really like that. Kashmir and Ladakh are like really amazing places as well. I mean, the center also has got its charm. I mean, it's got different layers because also through the invasions. And that is something that you can slowly start unpeeling, right? And that is also something quite interesting.
Layer
because
by
this
layer.
middle part of India, North India and Middle India, had invasions innumerous, right?
Yes.
And faced a lot of hardships, and you can see those layers. I like to compare that with places like Sarajevo, for example, in Bosnia, which also had the Ottomans coming in, and previous that they had another empire, and you can see those layers right in the city.
The influence
and that is
over
just
the cities.
amazing to see. So I mean, each place has got some uniqueness. So I can't really pinpoint and say I love this place the most. I find amazing stuff everywhere I go. So.
You speak a lot about sustainable tourism. So even when someone hears of sustainability in the tourism industry, it sounds a bit abstract. But can you define them in simple terms? What does sustainable tourism means?
In a very simple way, and that might also sound really crazy, but in a very simple way, it is just about being environmentally conscious. The conscious word is important. Being culturally conscious, and making sure that you contribute into the local economy, that your impact, your footprint is in the local economy. And I think if you just put it in those three different terms and be mindful of everything that you do, that is sustainability.
How do you think of a sustainable or a responsible tourism model in Nepal would look like?
Nepal is already quite deep into it because especially the contribution into the local economy happens the moment you step in. A lot of tourism in Nepal is rural based, so everything flows into the rural areas. The rural areas don't have internationals coming and opening up lodges. The locals do it. The locals make the money. So that part of the flow is very, very clean here. Yeah? The environmental part of it, yes, we need to work on because, in certain places we are still a little lacking on that. But if you go trekking, for example, you're walking, so your environmental impact is already very low.
Yes.
Yeah, so we are quite interestingly already there. Also, the cultural side of it, because of the variety that we have here and the fact that Nepal didn't open up to the world until the 50s and we were never colonized, there's not too many influences. It is coming more and more now.
Yeah.
But the authenticity of it, the cultural authenticity is still quite intact.
Yes.
Quite intact, yeah. And I think we need to focus on keeping it like that.
Keeping it intact is important.
Keeping it as long as we can because it will degrade. But I think we are already in it. So in Nepal, I think no matter how you do it, it is already there. But sustainability is a continuum. There is no end line to it. You can always go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper, right? So that does not mean that, okay, we are sustainable, we are fine. No. It needs to, you have to keep on moving, right? So that means you have to work harder on the environmental impacts and make it even less. The culture has to be preserved as much as we can, right? And so that requires effort as we modernize and start eating pizzas and dressing up internationally. Yeah. So we need to start keep maintaining that somehow. And and the contribution to the local economy also needs to be monitored. It has to be calculated. Data has to be taken, and you have to continuously monitor it, right? So it's an effort. But we are doing well, I think, on this ground.
Who do you think is mainly responsible for this? Catalysts like you in the industry, or the government, or both together, and who else?
I think it's an ecosystem. Everybody has a role to play, obviously, in the ecosystem, right? But I think Nepal's tourism is mostly on the shoulders of the private sector. People who are conscious about doing it the right way, and the stakeholders within that, right? If you look at tourism, it's a huge value chain in tourism. The only point where the government comes is just creating the environment and taking a visa fee. Yeah, that's where the government, or the taxation that comes. The rest is all private sector, right? From transportation to accommodation to tour operation to everything, right? So each player in the ecosystem has a role to play to do the sustainable thing, right? Yeah. And I think that's where it is. The final impact is done by the private sector. There's no doubt about it.
Right. So apart from mountains and spirituality, is there a coffee and cafe culture growing around Kathmandu?
Incredibly, yeah. So coffee came into this country about 35, 40 years ago by somebody who brought it from, I don't know, Indonesia or Malaysia or something like that, and started growing it. And, then we realized now, in the last 20 years or so, we realized that the entire middle belt of Nepal, from 900 meters up to 1500 to 2000 meters is coffee. Is good for coffee. And because we are at the higher altitude range for coffee growing, it is better quality as well. And amazingly, from a predominantly tea drinking culture that we are in, the country has just adopted coffee. And so now we drink more coffee. There's not enough coffee in Nepal for Nepalese to drink. And it is definitely growing. The coffee.
So whatever is growing is for domestic consumption, or do you import a lot?
We import as well now, because it's not enough. It's not enough. And Nepalese coffee is very high quality, so it's also, there's demand internationally. So some of it is exported as well. And as is with most commodities from most countries, the best quality always gets exported.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, so the locals get a chance to drink not the best one. Yeah, the rejects are what the locals end up drinking, right? So this is something that at this coffee shop we are saying no, the Nepalese have to drink the best, because you need to cultivate pride.
Yeah, amazing coffee.
So thank you. My wife will be very happy to hear that. That's my wife's project. So at Karma Coffee here, so we are very particular about that. That it's working on sustainability and circularity. Everything here is made by hand. It's made by Nepalese using Nepali artisanal skill sets, and everything is regenerational. So the idea being, you make functional craft, right? That you can actually use and not just keep in a shelf. That's kind of pointless, those crafts, yeah? I mean, the crafts, the skill sets should be used for common day use, right? So like you see, this table is actually made out of mango wood, which is sustainable hardwood from Nepal, no? Mango trees are usually not cut until they are old.
Yes.
And when you cut them down, you usually plant another one, yeah, because it's a fruit yielding tree, right? So we use only that. We know the carpenter who makes it. So, so everything here is on circularity. And the idea has been to sexify sustainability, right? If you make it sexy, then
People
you want to
love
sit
it.
here, right?
Yes.
And you also say, I'm going to sit here. I like this place. No?
Yes.
And if you just make it into a sorry project, you have to beg people to come.
Yes.
That is no fun doing that,
Yeah.
right? It's the same thing that is true
You
in
have to go with
tourism.
the trend.
It is also true in tourism.
Yeah.
If you do sustainability, but you still make your trips really amazing, then people will come to you because you have added value to it.
Yeah.
Right? It's the same thing is true for coffee or this, of how we do stuff as well.
So many youth still go and work outside Nepal, like Australia, Korea, and the Middle East. How do you think does that impact Nepal as a society and economy back home? Still a brain drain problem?
Yes, and a muscle drain as well, because it's young people who leave. So, we have, I think, about maybe a quarter of the young population of Nepal are not in Nepal. Yeah, but of course, their remittances are very valuable for the country. Yeah, it's our top foreign exchange earner. I mean, it's about 30% of the GDP. It's huge, right? What they're sending back. Now, for a country like Nepal, which is probably at the tail end on the UN list in terms of economy, for the people to find ways to actually earn money and go abroad, great, not a problem, in my view. Yeah, they are ingenious enough that they can actually find a way to fend for themselves, right? And that is amazing energy that Nepal has. About 25% of them also return. That is brain gain. Yeah? And we need to utilize that because to have people who are exposed is, if you compare with India, is the Kerala effect.
Yeah.
Why is Kerala so developed? Because people travel and they come back. Right? They come back with money, they come back with economy, so Nepal has transformed because of people traveling abroad as well. Because earlier on, I remember 20, 30 years ago, if you went into villages of Nepal, they wouldn't have, you wouldn't see a cash economy. They would still be bartering. Today, there's Western Union everywhere. Why? Because people are traveling and they're sending money back, right? So, for me, I think it's a great thing that people go abroad because, I believe in travel and I believe in the transformative power of travel. And but when they come back is when the changes are really happening because they've seen the world and they come back, right? So it's a great thing. I think for me, there's nothing wrong with it. I think we need to do more to actually encourage people who have gone abroad to come back by giving them really nice incentives to come back, which we are not doing enough. But if we do that, Nepal will transform by the people who come back.
Yeah, that's very true. Even that's happening in India these days.
Absolutely.
Mostly, but the engineers who are going abroad to US and Canada these days, they are also coming back.
Yeah.
Some they never come, they settle down here. But as you said about Kerala, that's interesting. In Nepal and Kerala, there's a lot of brain gain. They go and they come back.
Yeah. And the coming back is what you really have to value,
Yes.
The going, yes, you're sad, they're gone, But when they come back is when you really benefit, right?
Yes. They have seen the world, as you say.
Yeah.
So recently, we saw the Gen Z protests here in Nepal and the rise of independent leaders. Is there a change in the political era systems thinking? How do you see?
Absolutely. I think, this came out of a kingdom, right? So in 2006, we abolished monarchy. There was huge protests that was happening. Pre that, we had the Maoist revolution for about 10 years. 17,000 people died, due to the Maoist revolution. And the super interesting thing is, in today's world, it's a very unique thing, that one day to the other, everybody laid down their arms. And there was nothing there was no fringe element that's staying there who said, I still will continue the fight. So compare that with the US, for example, with the number of guns there, right? None of the civilians have guns here.
Yeah.
Except a few hunters. Nobody has guns here, and that is an amazing effect that we have, that is how much we valued peace. And then we let the Maoists have an opportunity. Said, all right, you've come over ground, all right, you run the country. And then we realized they were also shit, right? And then what we had was unfortunately, a little backlog of people who had, fought monarchy to get a democratic process out, and they suddenly were, given an opportunity to run the country. So power corrupts. So obviously that had happened, right? And that was draining the country a little bit. So there was some movement that was starting maybe in 2010. There was a Nepal Unites movement that was going on that had actually started getting the people together, the youth together, to start understanding, oh my God, I think we need to do something about this. We are thinking slightly differently. And then post, more recently after the pandemic, what happened here is what I like to call the Balan effect. An independent candidate came and, using just social media, became the mayor of Kathmandu. And that actually, I think, gave, sort of unlocked, the lethargy that we had in politics. Because we were getting bogged down with the corruption, we were getting bogged down with the same three people running like a musical chair on top. We were really bogged down. And they were not thinking of any long visions. There was nothing much happening. Yeah, the country was plodding along.
Yeah,
as countries do. They plod along, right? So I think that all culminated in complete frustration, and Nepalese only start doing revolts after they're super frustrated, and that came out last September. Unfortunately, kids died, but the result of that is this transformation right now, and a sweeping victory to the independence. So we are in interesting territory right now. We don't have a lot of career politicians. Everybody is new. Not everybody, but many of them are new.
The biggest factor is also the youthfulness and the age of
there's a huge element of youthfulness right now. So a lot of it will be done by gut feel, rather than actually, veteran, political thinking. So it's dicey territory, but I think there is a tremendous amount of hope in the country.
As long as the intentions are correct.
I think we have already turned a layer right now, and I think I was always saying that since the Gen Z protest and what had happened in this country with the interim government, we had a very strong currency of hope. Hope is a very strong currency in a country. Hope makes you buy more. Hope makes you joyous, do more. Your energy is higher, and I think post this election that hope has gone up, and I think whether the government does well or not, hope is going to carry us through. And I think that is a very strong currency that we have right now.
Yes, hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully, exactly.
So finally, how would you describe in your words the Nepalese hospitality and culture for people who want to come to Nepal?
If this is for an Indian audience, they know it already.
For anywhere in the world.
I think in India, Nepalese are known to be hospitable already.
Yes.
We have that.
We have a perception of being very nice people.
Exactly, and we have that thing with trustworthiness and hospitality, and I think we live it. Nepal is chilled and relaxed and hospitable. These qualities are crucial for for tourism, right? And I cannot say that for many countries. With the same three characteristics, right? And then you add beauty to it, and then you add culture to it. Then it's like. It's really top, right? And I think for us the only thing that we keep on needing to do is to maintain that. The image is already there. We have it. There's interviews. There's polls after polls and surveys after surveys which say that people come for the mountains, but they come back because of the people.
Very true.
So Nepal actually pulls people because of people. And I think this is something that is so precious. Very, very precious, no? And I think we need to retain that for a very long time, because that is that actually pulls people much more. The nature might change. Tomorrow, with climate change, we might not have, any snow in the mountains, in 200 years. But the people will still pull people, no?
Yes.
And that is the uniqueness that we have. So
very true. Thank you so much, Raj, for such an honest and candid conversation.
You're very welcome. It's a pleasure.
And we could see Nepal than what we imagine usually. Thank you so much for being on the show.
You're very welcome. Thanks.
Welcome.